I was listening to a radio show that's put on by Mayo Clinic with several doctors on the benefits of various types of exercise, especially for someone who may be in a position where you just haven't exercised in a while, if at all. I've talked in the past about motivation, whether it's to work out or study, clean, whatever it would be. There are several things that are needed. We have to have the opportunity to do something. We have to have the ability to do something. But we also have to have the motivation to do that. And that might be where you're struggling right now, trying to find the motivation to exercise. Why I thought this would be really helpful is because yesterday's show that I listened to surrounded around two more recent studies about exercise. They were done by Harvard researchers as well as an institute over in Sweden. The way that they did their study is different than a lot of the previous research. When we look about the benefits of what would be required, how long, the level of intensity you'd have to work out to experience health benefits, we relied heavily on just people reporting. And it's not that people would lie, but if you're self-reporting, you might overestimate the workout that you did or the intensity of it. Where what was unique about these particular studies is they used devices that people wore, and they were much more sophisticated than if you think about like the Apple Watches or the different trackers that we might use. These devices could track when someone was not doing anything at all, but also the degree of the intensity of the activity, whether it was light or moderate or intense. And the feedback that came back from this and the health benefits that these people experienced was really positive in the fact that we learned more than we originally thought about the benefits of regular everyday activity and just simply movement, not necessarily this really intense type of workout. So for example, they were sharing things like even like just walking your dog, vacuuming, regular household chores, regular everyday activity, and the benefits that you can experience, especially if right now your life is pretty sedentary, where you're not really, working out or exercising or having much activity at all. For example, the study that I read in Sweden was sharing that if you just replaced 30 minutes of your day with just regular everyday activity, so again, they're not talking about a specific workout even, we're talking light activity here, that you can reduce your chances of fatal cardiovascular disease by 24%. And then of course, if you bumped something up a little more, you would experience even more benefits. But that's huge, you guys. So we're talking about something, if you're coming from not doing anything at all, just really being more intentional and strategic of finding ways in your everyday life to get those benefits. The second thing I wanted to share with you today is the conversation around several of these doctors that was so powerful. They were talking about the discussion of 150 minutes. So 150 minutes is what's recommended for the activity that we get a week to experience health benefits. One of the doctors specializes in research at the Healthy Living Center at Mayo. He was talking about what a disservice it can be to a large part of our population that currently isn't moving at all to tell them 150 minutes a week. And the reason why is because it discourages a lot of people. If we don't feel we have the ability to do something, we may very well lack effort, right? And even starting, especially if we haven't been doing something for a long time. And I thought this was such an important conversation. And so what he did recommend is what you see on my channel all the time, is just starting out small. He said, big deal. If you're going from absolutely nothing and you slowly but surely work your way up to only 120 of those minutes, you are still getting a ton more benefits than if the 150 was just too overwhelming and so you didn't do anything at all. So the reason I wanted to film this for you today is I really want to encourage you to look at the activities throughout your day, and it could just simply as vacuuming. It could be something, a household chore that you'd have to do anyway, but if you're a little bit more intentional about that and you do these activities, those 30 minutes a day that was recommended, it doesn't have to be something that seems overwhelming. So I hope that you found this encouraging, again, especially if you're starting at zero, that if you have the ability to do something, you will be much more motivated. Maybe that's a 5-minute walk. Maybe you don't start out at 30 minutes a day, or maybe you start out at 5 or 10, whatever it would be. Make this something that doesn't feel daunting and is more sustainable and that you can build and scale over time. So I appreciate you letting me share this with you. Again, I really hope that this inspires you and you realize what can take place with just a little bit of effort. It doesn't have to be something overwhelming or intimidating at all, and just be able to kind of build up so that you can experience those health benefits. So again, if you like content like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Join my VIP list at bertavip.com. I'll link all of those additional resources below. I appreciate you letting me share this with you, and I will see you next time.